Heartbreak for Spurs as they lose the Super Cup on penalties, animated conversations from a Spurs technical director, and the Eze transfer rumours continue. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines, where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already subscribed as yet to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And if you do have a spare moment, please vote for the channel at the Football Content Awards 2025. All of the details are below. Let's get into it. TBR football report on Wednesday night in Udine. Fabio, Paratici and technical director Johan Lange were seated together watching Spurs defeat to PSG. Alistair Gold from Football.London revealed that the two men were having several animated conversations during the game. Fabio Paratici alongside Johan Lange in the stands tonight here in Udine, having plenty of animated conversations so far, he posted on X. Tottenham's Lange and Thomas Frank have had a lot of positives to take from Tottenham's game against PSG, despite the heartbreaking defeat in the end. However, the Spurs director would have also learned that his manager needs help. Spurs were superior for the first 70 minutes of the game, but the fact that they fell off late showed that they need improvement to the squad depth. Lange needs to bring in a few new players in the coming weeks. Perhaps that's what he and Paratici were animatedly talking about during the game. The Metro reports talks are reportedly ongoing for Crystal Palace's Eberechi Eze and Manchester City's Savinho, and Thomas Frank told TNT Sports, "We would like to strengthen the squad, no doubt about that. We would work hard to see if we can do that. In general, I'm very happy with the squad, but of course, in every window you'd like to see if you can make the squad stronger before the window closes. That's what we're working hard on." And as regards the Super Cup final, Frank said, "There were so many positives. I'm so proud of the team, the players, the club, the fans. It's a lot to be happy with. It's a coin flip when it goes to a penalty shootout." According to Frank, his side's first half display was almost perfect in every aspect. He said, "We showed that we can be adaptable and pragmatic. We needed to do that against a team like PSG." Football.London report that Spurs are still pushing for Eberechi Eze. In Eze, they will have someone who can play across the front line and in midfield, and a versatile player for Frank's system. Eze still has 2 years left on his contract with the Eagles, giving Palace the upper hand in negotiations over a transfer. Eze has a release clause of £67.5 million, which expires before the Premier League season starts, so Tottenham have to do something of a deadline to get a deal done. That said, it's understood that Palace will demand a similar amount even after the release clause expires, and Spurs will want to get a deal over the line before the season starts to give Frank the best possible squad heading into the opening fixture against Burnley, particularly without a recognised number 10 to call upon. Dejan Kulusevski has a long-term knee injury, meaning Lucas Bergvall, Pat Matasar and the likes of Wilson Odegaard or Matisse Tell could have to play there if Eze is not brought into the club at this time. And the Telegraph report this morning that Crystal Palace are braced for Tottenham to step up their attempts to land Eberechi Eze in the coming days. Thomas Frank happy with the squad but would welcome right additions. Give Me Sport on the same subject report that Spurs are set to place an opening bid for Eberechi Eze. Spurs are moving fast to avoid counter from Arsenal. There is optimism that Eze is prepared to join with the personal terms not a problem. An Italian journalist and transfer expert Fabio Romano stated that Tottenham are prepared to open formal talks with Crystal Palace for Eberechi Eze. The plan to return to the table reported 2 days ago 100% confirmed, and also confirmed that Eze would be keen on Spurs' move if the two clubs can agree a fee. And Tottenham Hotspur have held talks over a potential deal for Savinho, but the word from Manchester City is that it's not going to go any further, according to the Athletic journalist David Ornstein. Speaking to the Athletic FC podcast, Ornstein has confirmed that Tottenham have held talks over a potential deal for Savinho, submitting an inquiry to City. The respected reporter adds that the word from the Etihad Stadium is that an inquiry was made and rebuffed, and it's expected to go no further. Some conversations have been had that focused on a deal in the region of €50 million. Clearly Manchester City, if there's going to be any departure, and I say that with a capital if, because the word coming from the Etihad is that if there was an inquiry, it was rebuffed and it's going no further. But if they were to consider parting with him, it would take evidently a far higher number. Are Tottenham willing to stretch that far? If they are, then possibly there could be a deal. Man City clearly don't want to lose Savinho easily, especially with only a few days left before the Premier League season starts. Pep Guardiola has already lost Jack Grealish, with a 29-year-old joining Everton on loan for this campaign. And Tottenham Hotspur Football Club have released the following statement as regards the racist abuse suffered by Matisse Tel. They state, "We are disgusted at the racial abuse that Matisse Tel has received on social media following last night's UEFA Super Cup defeat. Matisse showed bravery and courage to step forward and take a penalty, yet those who abuse him are nothing but cowards hiding behind anonymous usernames and profiles to spout their abhorrent views. We will work with the authorities and social media platforms to take the strongest possible action against any individual we are able to identify. We stand with you, Matisse." Well, here's my thoughts on all those stories today. Firstly, about Paratici and Lange having conversations. I mean, we don't know what they were talking about, but you would like to think and hope that they were in fact talking about transfers and where this squad needs strengthening. Look, we all know as fans this squad needs definite work, and look, the Super Cup performance was excellent in that first half and most of the second half, but for me it did drop off when Kudus went off, even Richarlison went off, and you know, the other substitutions, to be honest, Palhinha, of course, when he went off, it seemed to change a lot. And in my opinion, that's where we lost the game 2-0 up and cruising. I genuinely thought another trophy was on the way, but it wasn't to be. We just couldn't get over the line, and that shows to me that that depth isn't quite there. Yes, PSG had little time to prepare for this game and a week back in training, so you would think Spurs would stand a better chance, and we looked a better side for large periods of that game, and I thought we handled it really well, but it's desperately disappointing to lose. And obviously on penalties it is a lottery. Dear, it did feel like we got our Spurs, the old Spurs, back, you know, after winning that trophy. I thought it was going to push on. I really did think we had a chance against PSG after watching that first half, but it wasn't to be, and we move on. But we must bring in players in this window, leading us on nicely to Eberechi. Now, this is a deal that seems to be progressing. It's all good at the moment. There's no bad reports that I can see, and let's hope they can get around the table and get this Eberechi deal done. It sounds like the player is keen on a move to Spurs. He would come. Doesn't sound like personal terms would be a problem. Wages, fine. It's just this release fee. Are Spurs going to try and penny pinch? I don't think they're in a position where they can. I just hope, come on, Tottenham Hotspur, go out and get Eberechi and make the fan base happy. He is the player we need. We all know that. As regards Savinho, it does look like this one's stalled. I haven't really heard much else since. I would love Spurs to bring in both these players, Savinho and Eze. I mean, what a statement that would be, and how that would transform our front line. But can you see Tottenham doing it? I'm not so sure. Get down in the comments, let me know. Do you think Spurs will get both these deals done? Which one out of the two, if you had to pick, would you prefer? Personally, I'd rather Eze. Savinho, though, what a player that would be, and a statement as well. Come on, this is what big clubs do. They go and they don't just get one, they get two players. You know, they get two players. We need both these players in through the door, and a couple of other additions, but you know, just get these two sorted first. And finally, the news on the Tel abuse. Look, any player can miss a penalty. It wasn't a particularly good penalty. PSG players miss penalties as well. The racist abuse, there should never be a place in football. I just personally hope that the club and the authorities clamp down on this. They find out who it was. As the club said, people hiding behind anonymous usernames. It's not good. It's not right. It's cowardly, absolutely cowardly. I don't what goes through people's minds. I don't know what goes through people's minds that want to go on social media and racially abuse somebody that they don't know, or anybody for that matter. It hasn't even got to be somebody they don't know. It's abhorrent, it's horrible, it's got no place in football. And I think that was a good statement by the club, and like I say, let's hope they can find out who it was and give them lifetime bans. Anyway, that's all from me. Get down in the comments, let me know which of those two players, Eze or I've forgotten the other fella's name. This is Spurs. This is what Spurs does to you. You forget players' names. Savinho, of course it is. Get down in the comments, let me know which of those two players you want. Do you want both of them, or if you had a choice, which one would it be? Anyway, that's it for now. Tomorrow's another day. Premier League season starts at the weekend. Come on, you Spurs.